Well, our zipline kit, actually two zipline kits, have arrived. We're going to do two different stations for our zipline. Let's unbox this. We've got the seat there. Here's the spring brake. There's the handle that goes with the cable. Turnbuckle. The main cable for the zipline. Looks like that is the string for the seat. That's for the little harness. Got the cable that goes around the tree and connects to the turnbuckle. And then all of our hardware. All right. And we've got a little bag for carrying the stuff. And then I believe this is to put around the trees to protect them. Well, let's go outside and go to our trees and see what we can find. All right, so we've got our stuff outside and we have chosen what trees we're going to use for our zip line. We've decided to go over there, look. She misses Mom, but she's not smart enough to see that she's only like 100 feet in front of her. All right, Goat made it back, so she's no longer making a bunch of noise. I got all our stuff here, and I was reading through the instructions, and it looks like we need to start with our main cable, and then the little fabric things that protect the tree. And so if you look over here, got our ladder set up. We're gonna choose that tree, and we're gonna go about 2 or 3 feet up from the ladder. We're not being very scientific. We're just gonna eyeball it. And what I need to do is pass the cable through this little eye here and tighten it up. And it's gonna hold against this so it doesn't damage the tree, but you'll see that in a second. All right, here's our cable. Not quite ready for that yet, but I am going to try not to fall off the ladder. And I'm going to put the fabric around it that protects the tree. Hopefully this is long enough to go all the way around. I think it is. Yep, so I think about right here will work. What do you think, Rach?
Maybe a little, yep.
Okay. All right, we have plenty of length on this thing. In fact, I'm just gonna swing it around, but I'll have to reach around to the other side. Perfect. There we go. All right, so let's take the cable up there. Try not to fall. Let's see. So what we're supposed to do is run the cable through the eye on the end. So I'm just gonna throw that down. Let's go up here. I'm supposed to put this through. And then just tighten it. All right, here's your thing. Rachel's gonna take the camera away for a minute because she has to pull the cable. All right, we've got that mostly tightened out. So what I'm gonna do now is just tighten this and put it basically in the direction that we're going. So here we go. I think that's pretty good. Let's give that a nice tight tug once you walk towards the tree there, Rach. A little more. All right. I think we should be good once you let go. See if it holds itself up. That should be all right. We're gonna tighten it for good at the end. Now we're gonna go to the other end. We're on the other end, and if you can tell, I'm a little sweaty and dirty. Rachel had us cut some branches, and now the goats are eating all the extra leaves and stuff, so they're happy, they don't mind. We're on the other end now, and in the instruction booklet it says to take the spring brake, which is this, and just slide it onto the end of the cable. Oh geez, that's gonna be way more difficult than I expected. Try and keep this going straight. 3 hours later. Okay, maybe it's not that hard. I got it, thank you. I lied, I don't got it. There you go, hold it straight. Hey, teamwork. All right, let's pop it through there. I'll hold this end, see if we can push that through. Perfect. We'll pull that down a ways. All right, so besides that, you come this way real quick. Here are the other things that we're gonna need on this end. We're gonna need the fabric to protect the tree, just like we have on the other end. And then this cable is gonna go around the tree with that protecting the tree. And these two loops are going to attach into this turnbuckle. And then the turnbuckle is going to attach to this. This is gonna go back through it, and it's gonna loop around on itself and then tighten onto itself with these little U-clamps that we have. So this is our next, what do you call it, step that we have to do right here. All right, so I'm going up here on the ladder. I'm gonna try and go about as high as I can because it's pretty high over there. Our retaining wall is, 4 or 5 feet tall, and then that was 8 feet above that. So we are going to go good. I mean, what do you think we are? 9-10 feet up? And I'm sure all this is going to get adjusted a little bit, but here we go. We're going to start right here. Got that on there. Now I'm going to take this around. I don't know if I should wrap it around on itself. What do you think? Is that a bad idea? No, because the tension on the cable is going to be enough to hold it. What am I talking about? We're going to go on here, and it'll have to be tightened later, but this is basically where we're going to be. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and attach the turnbuckle to it, because why not? As you see, it just fell off because it's not tight enough. All right, Rach, I'm going to need your hands here in a second. So we have the cable attached to the tree, and we got a lot of extra slack here. We ordered a little bit further than we need. So the issue we're going to have now is how to tension the cable. If you see, it goes all the way up to that tree up there, but it's hanging a little loose for our liking. As you see, don't worry about that goat walking by. But we want to make this a little tighter. If you can see where it is, we want the cable to be, oops, sorry, there's my finger, about right here. So maybe bring it up 6 inches or so. As you see, it goes pretty high up into this tree, say close to 10 feet off the ground. And we have a lot of slack, so I guess what we're going to do is end up using those little U-clamps, attaching it to the cable. I got one up there just holding it still, and then I guess we'll just hold the slack up there and wrap it around. But yeah, let us brainstorm how we are going to tension this. I could just maybe attach it to my tractor and pull on it. We'll see. Rachel and I just did the totally not OSHA approved method of putting tension on the Zipline with our Gravely. Sorry, don't tell on us. It's probably not the right thing to do. But we got some decent tension on it. We might need to get a little bit more, but I think we've got our method. So bear with us. All right, so after lots of cursing and questionable decisions, we've gotten it pretty tight. So I'm doing the last of the U-bolts to tighten it up. Might do the turnbuckle a little bit more just to make it a little tighter. Then I think we are ready for a test run of our trolley. Probably send it without anybody on it just to see how stinking fast it goes. So I'll make sure nobody gets hurt. Oh, that's the wrong way. Meanwhile, I'm getting torn up by mosquitoes. So is Rachel. But hey, our kids are gonna be happy, so that's all that matters. All right, give us a few minutes. We'll be just about finished. So just realized one thing we forgot when we were installing this is that the turnbuckle, it's got the bolts that are attached to it, and we started with these almost all the way inside there, so we had like no tensioning ability for that. So what we did was we took this down, and then we got these to where there was barely any threads inside there, so we had about that much space to be able to tighten it, which actually does a big difference when you have a cable like this. So let that thing out, and then it'll be easier to get tension. We got the seat attached to the trolley, and the trolley's on there. Let's just see what would happen if we would send a human person down there. I mean, I know it's not going to have all the weight and all that, but I just want to see if it would, it'll actually go. The height seems pretty good. What do you think, Rich?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's slowing down, so that's good. We are about ready for our first ride, and Rachel and I decided it is way too dangerous for us to do, so we're going to put one of our kids on it. Just kidding. We want to be able to have one of us up here to help one of our kids on it, and then one of us at the end to catch them just in case anything crazy happens. But yeah, I think we got it. So pretty exciting. And then we do have a second zip line that we're gonna go from this tree over to one over there. I'm gonna have to cut one branch off of this pecan tree, but other than that, we should be nice and clear. All right, wish us luck. Can you get it?
Yeah.
All right, here she goes. Oh, that's a pretty good ride. Nice. All the way to the end. Good job, Rach. Nice. Perfect. Good ride, Sam. All right, here goes Madeline's turn. Let's see how it goes here. Yep, ready.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Nice. And to the landing spot.